Oh, hey, everybody. No Nothings podcast. What one are we on?
28.
28?
Are we live?
Yeah, we're live.
All right, rock and roll.
Hey, so like what I was saying is we haven't posted on TikTok in a while, but I kind of did it on purpose because a couple of times I paid to have it pushed to people who like podcasts, and then like you got one that was, it had, get this, it had 29,000 views, right? I looked at it the other day. It had 28. How do you take away 1,000 views?
That's weird. I've never seen that happen on the TikTok.
Did you see that?
I haven't been to our TikTok. And I've been so busy, and then we haven't done this in like 3 weeks.
Yeah, it's been longer than that. It's been way longer than 3 weeks.
No way.
It seems like an eternity.
It does.
I really love doing the podcast.
Me too.
I mean, we've had a total of 4 people look at the last one. It's great.
Yeah.
In a month.
But we've had more than that. Look at some.
We've had more than, but I'm just saying we slowed down.
The Billy Joe Shaver one had 38,000 or something on TikTok. That's a good story.
That's what I'm talking about. 39,000 views, and then
now it's 38.
Now it's 38. It's 38 now. I don't know. Okay, so anyway, I didn't post on there because after we got like the 39,000, and then we got the 16,000 on the one, and there's like 12,000 on one, and then I was like, oh, I bet these numbers would be awesome if I just paid to have it pushed to people who listen to podcasts on TikTok.
Right.
Big mistake. TikTok was like, oh, these guys are going to pay for it. Let's pump the brakes on pushing it for free.
So they slowed it down.
So then, I mean, we went from that to 300.
Yeah.
Some of them had 50.
300 solid. 300 solid on TikTok, but if you're an influencer, but 50 sucks when they keep it at like 50. Like,
We're not trying too hard, but then when you get like one like the one we got where like pumped up, and then it's like, I mean, they really did. They pumped the brakes on us.
Yeah, that's what I've heard that's what they'll do. If they'll find out you start using the promotion feature, if you're promoting it at all, then they just wait for you to. They're like, oh, this person's going to pay. They're keen to pay, so that's what they're going to have you do. Man, I guess it has been maybe 4 weeks because the world has gone nuts.
It's crazy.
It's already so since we've talked last. Let's see, Elon completed the acquisition of Twitter, fired everybody. The libs are up in arms about that. Then Kanye West, or Ye, becomes the face of white nationalism, Nazi party in America.
That's crazy.
Then him and Nick Fuentes, a noted Nazi, go have dinner with President Trump. How in the hell? You think about this. If you're a president, you've got Secret Service, you've got all this. And everything is, what's happening in every minute of your day. There's a calendar. There's like, how do you end up in dinner with an outspoken Nazi? How does it happen?
Did he really not know that he was having dinner with that guy?
That's what how is it possible?
Is he so busy that he didn't know who he was? No. If you're having dinner with an ex-president, don't you think there's somebody that like vets everybody?
That's what I'm saying.
Eats at the table.
That's what I'm saying. That's the whole point. Like,
so do you think people are against him? I'm going to play devil's advocate. Are there people against him that thought that would burn him down good, and they would so they could talk shit later?
Well, it is. I mean, he's completely burned to embers. I don't see how anybody can be watching this shit show the past 3 years. He's burned to embers. What could I'm saying he should be on the redemption tour, right? Like, how do I make things better?
That's not him.
Oh, I know.
That's not. He has still got it on. Like if we were on a boat and it was the Titanic and it's
it's on full tilt boogie.
He's still going, bro. It's like right there. Yeah, there's the iceberg.
But you would think after everything you're going through, and then you've got like 3. You've got the Mar-a-Lago, the stolen documents, all these classified documents. You got the January 6th. None of this has even been to trial yet, and then you're gonna have dinner with an open Nazi. What?
It's all fake.
It's
all fake. None of that's real. I don't believe
this Fuentes cat. I know you don't follow the news, but this Fuentes cat is not like.
I can't follow the news.
He's not like kind of like, oh, he says some things and people are calling him a Nazi. Or it's like, oh, the crazy left is calling him a Nazi. This is not what this is, Mike. This is a guy that's like, yeah, we don't need democracy. We need to be ran like the Taliban. We need to burn women at the stake. Like I'm a white supremacist. He is an open Nazi. And a public open, the most famous and outwardly open Nazi. How's he end up at dinner with the next president? You got to know that's on purpose. This guy's
for what
nuts.
for what end? How many Nazis do you know are going to vote? Like, seriously.
Well, he's sitting at the table, according to Ye, going, I really like this guy. To the Fuentes guy, the Nazi. Trump, they're saying the whole dinner is fawning over this guy. Like, I really like this. This is a really big brain guy. This is a smart guy.
The Nazi guy?
Yes, sir.
Well, I guess he would have to be pretty fucking, like, likable if he's a Nazi and people actually, like, let him into their house. Well, you know how charismatic people are? You know how charismatic people are? Okay.
Yeah.
And some people fall into it. Hell, look at Hitler.
I think you're missing. Yeah, I know. I think maybe you're missing the fact that it's like becoming. This is the problem. It's becoming socially acceptable. That's
it's not. It's not becoming socially. It can't be.
I know, but I'm saying there's a push on that side. Oh, there's a push on that side to make it socially to make it normal.
You're saying there's a push on
to normalize
Donald
this.
Trump's side
to normalize yes.
people that are Nazis.
100%.
No fucking way.
Well, why are they standing on stages saying? Why are elected congressmen and senators standing on stages and declaring that we should be basically declaring it should be a Christian only nation, and it should be like literally everything that is that. How could they be saying this?
Who went where? When are they saying this?
What's her name?
Understand that they have morals and values, like to be a Christian nation.
I think because you don't watch the news or don't watch any of this stuff, you've just missed like the past 10 months.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, they're normalizing the most insane shit you could ever imagine. It is. I've never seen anything like this, and it's been a movie to me my whole life. This whole thing's been a movie.
Oh, it's like I was telling you today. It's just going to Walmart. It's like there are NPCs running around.
They're on stage saying, just the most. In fact, the Fuentes guy, the outspoken Nazi, is introducing Marjorie Taylor Greene at a speaking event, and she's an elected United States senator or congresswoman.
He's the host. He's hosting her on stage.
Yeah, that's correct.
That is why. What?
You're miss. I'm telling you, you have missed so much that you. Like,
oh my
you're not,
god! I guess I don't know what. Okay, point me in a news direction.
I'm not going in. This isn't even news. I'm just saying you can find the clips. The clips
just
and
like
things.
Twitter.
This is like like you can just go to Twitter and find these things.
Man, I hate all of that. I hate.
Well, I know.
But I hate TikTok too. By the way, I hate all of it.
I think, but so when I was saying that, yes, they're trying to normalize that. You're saying no way because I think
there's no way.
It's what's happened. They're calling for. They're calling for Christian nationalism. They're calling for. He's calling for an end to elections. Donald Trump.
Who's calling for an end to elections?
Fuentes is calling for an.
Well, he's a nobody.
No, he's not a nobody. He's having dinner with the next president.
Oh,
right?
jeez.
And he's introducing Congress people at speaking events for fundraising millions of dollars. What do you mean? He's a nobody.
Pull your microphone like okay, look, no.
Yeah.
It goes like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta.
There you go.
You gotta. This is not a nobody. How? That's not a nobody. Nobody's.
Where'd he come from?
He came from a podcast.
Oh God! Shut it down.
But Donald.
Shut it down. Shut the podcast down.
Donald Trump today called for Donald Trump. If you could tell me they're not trying to normalize, he called for today an end to the United States Constitution version of how we run elections.
Can't be true. Did he say that today?
He said it today.
Why?
He put it on his Truth
because
Social.
He can't win.
Because he can't win. So he's saying that we have to abolish.
Oh my God. Okay, so
elections.
That sounds crazy.
And they're calling for a dictator.
No, and who's calling for a dictator? Not Donald
Fuentes,
Trump.
Ye, and Trump. He will be the supreme dictator like Kim Jong-un.
Is this for real?
It doesn't seem like it's for real, but
I feel like you're pulling my leg just for the podcast.
Dude, I don't even. I hate all the like. I really do see this stuff objectively. These people like if I'm saying on the podcast, if the Republican Party does not quickly and swiftly reverse, like move, and they're running, they're scampering from these people.
Running away.
They're scampering like
you're
ants.
Popping real bad for some reason.
Is that better?
Yeah.
They're scampering like ants. But if they don't get away, well, all they want to do is win one more election. That's kind of their stated, like, we win one more, we're gonna
change it into a dictatorship.
We burn this motherfucker to the ground.
Oh no, that's not good.
No, it's not.
Well, look. Okay, so everybody that's been in, can we just have a reset? Everybody that's been in office, like Joe Biden and Nancy Pelosi, all these people have been in office for over 30 years. Have they done anything good?
They've probably done some things good.
They've probably done some things.
They've probably done
But
some things
it
good.
seems like now everything just sucks.
Here's this. Here's
Man,
Fuentes.
yeah, the phone is. Turn that off. It's going.
Oh, I was seeing if you
it's
could.
it's like making the whatever's in that phone.
Well, basically, that's the clip where he comes out. He says,
Put it on your microphone.
"Okay, here we go. You ready?"
Yeah, here it comes.
Support women's rights. I don't support LGBT rights. I believe in race and gender essentialism. I'm Catholic. I'm a Catholic reactionary. I believe that organized Jewry is extremely influential in the United States and pushes America towards an open society, liberalism, internationalism for their own benefit.
That's it, right? All the tropes right there.
What?
I gotta. Oh, you got. I want to show you the Ye interview on Alex Jones because that is gold, Mike.
Yeah, we gotta see that. I could pull it up behind us.
Oh, pull it up behind us.
I don't know if I'm gonna get sound from it.
Every human being has something of value that they brought to the table.
Who's that?
Especially Hitler.
He's covered up. That's fake, man.
Jewish people, but I also love Nazis. Germans had a really cool leader at one time. Love you, love you, love you. There's a lot of things that I love about Hitler. Well, I think Hitler did target and kill some people.
I don't.
I think Obama killed Palestinians. This is a new look for you. Oh no, I've been wearing a mask for a while. Yeah. Hey guys, could you not talk in the back? I'm like really hypersensitive to sound. If you guys want to talk, just go on the road, please. Shut the hell up. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, shut up. Shut up. I'm throwing the tablets right now. Shut up. Instagram is about prostitution, so everyone shut up. No one cares.
I get that
Shut
comment.
up. No one cares. Jesus is king. Shut up. It's done. Everybody shut up. Everybody shut up. Go home to your scared little Benz and your scared little townhome and your scared
Did you
little
see the net in the Yoo-Hoo yet?
Shut up. Don't talk to me.
That was in the beginning, right?
Oh yeah.
Bro, what do you think? There's one place in the Bible where
So
says,
it just stays off the rails. I'm not going to play the whole thing, but you can see. I mean, emphasizing the love about Hitler. This is
Oh my God! That you
And
don't
Fuentes
think that was added in there? You don't think that the
Added in-
love Hitler was added in there on just to make that a
no.
clip?
It's been 100. This has all been 100% source verify. Everybody, this has been billions. This is
So I can go to Alex Jones. I can go to Infowars.com, and that's what he's
a
gonna say.
million%. This is
God.
across. This is a global story. This is him and the other Nazi.
Do you think this is the Illuminati thing where we do the shame part? Do you think to get back in, he's got to get back
crazy
in?
And look,
Does he got to get back in their good graces
he's
by
not
doing
tr-
the
he's-
shame
he's
part?
not
This
getting
is
back-
shame.
He's ready to die.
They don't care about.
He's ready to die.
Ugh.
He's like
That's crazy. He's wearing that black thing over his face.
Ben Fuentes is the guy with the no women's rights, no LGBT. I mean, he outright says what the fringe of the conservative party says. The problem is with the left and the right is these fringe outliers are the ones
Are
with
the
voices.
loudest. They're the loudest.
They're the ones with the voices.
The squeaky wheel gets the most oil.
Yeah, but we cannot allow people. You cannot. I'm just saying, as an independent, I'm drawing a line in the sand. I'm not going to allow people in American politics to be like openly Nazi, homophobic, just openly
shit.
racist. Not like, look, there's like on the left and right. There's always been like this underpinnings of it. They do. The left keeps them poor, and they keep them poor on purpose, so they'll vote for them. That's facts, right? Like, it just is what it is. And the right doesn't give a shit about them and really doesn't like them, and that really is what it is to some degree. Like,
To some degree.
certainly with a large majority of them, but
Well, it ended up being that way.
Yes.
I don't know if it started out to be exactly those pinpoints, but whatever policies
But
that have been
people
put into
can't-
place, whatever policies have been put into place has made it like that.
people have to somewhere stand up and go, there's no way. I don't care if it's shit what side of the aisle you're on. There's no way you can sit there and let somebody have dinner with a Nazi and be like, and find a way to justify it. There's no way you can let somebody steal classified documents. Like, I just don't understand any person that can't disavow this all the way.
Fuck Nazis.
Yes, that's like right? Like that's pretty obvious, easy thing. Like you would think it's, hey, we can't agree on anything, but there's a few things we can all agree on, right?
Sure. Let's find out what those are.
Yeah, like being just a disgusting racist is gross.
That's gross.
It's gross. Being just
terrible.
Just being a homophobe is gross.
It's terrible.
Right? Like
if you don't like it, don't
the fact
talk about it. Fuck out of here.
The fact that we can't get everybody to even agree to those points is startling to me.
Well,
and then we've got the largest
move to a bigger city.
And we've got the largest black celebrity on earth coming out as a Nazi. Oh, in the face of white nationalism, white Christian nationalism in America, a African American celebrity. What planet are we living on?
It's hard to think that that's even true. It's hard to think that that's even real.
And then and you're going, wait a minute, in 2 days.
So Alex Jones is sitting there and he's going like he's like cuckoo. He's like looking like, oh, this was a bad idea.
You didn't see Alex when he came in. He's like, I mean, I want.
I saw him.
We need to talk about the Nazis killed a lot of people.
Deer in the headlights moment for a second when I saw over there. I can see on your photos. Total deer in the headlights.
You should go watch the whole thing. I watched about.
I gotta watch it.
I watched about 50 minutes of it. I mean, you can't get through the whole thing because it's it's unhinged. But anyway, I don't know. I can't believe it's happening.
Welcome back to No Nothings with the No Politics podcast that we don't talk about politics. This isn't politics.
Is this politics?
This is like world rights.
Is it politics to say like this is clearly nuts? This is like me coming out and saying, dude, I hate pedophilia.
Right.
I hate people that rape children.
Hey man,
I thought we weren't going to talk about politics.
I thought we were going to talk about that.
That's not politics, right? That's just like, dude, we got to all stand up and say, none of this, none of this, none of this. Like, I think there's some people on the left and right caught up in this Epstein Island thing. I want to see who's on the list of that.
I want to see the list.
And everybody should. There's no way you should be so attached to somebody's politics that they were like raping children or they're outward Nazi, and you're gonna be like, and you can find if you can find a way to justify that, you're fucked up.
Yeah,
I'll die on that hill.
I'm not justifying anything with any kind of Donald Trump meeting Nazis and having dinner with them.
Yeah, because they're going to say
known Nazis,
known Nazis, outwardly not. And so when he's introducing the,
is this like a Nazi thing?
I don't think so. I think that's just your okay.
Everybody makes everything like a
666. But then he's introducing Marjorie Taylor Greene, who's like the face of their party right now, and he's at her event. Like,
I gotta check something on your microphone. Keep talking.
Is it just popping?
Still? Yeah, there's like there's a little switch on there that has like a roll off switch.
Yeah.
Let me get that going on and that going on. Let's try that.
There we go. But yeah. Anyway, well, Elon did his thing. He's got Twitter now. I think last time he was like not gonna.
You can get closer now. Let's try it.
He was in the deal, and
it's perfect.
He wasn't gonna. He was backed out of the Twitter deal, but since we've last talked, that's gone through, and he, I guess, fired everyone, right?
Yeah. We talked about him going in with the kitchen sink, so we were talking about that a month ago. But now he hadn't bought it. Now he's got it. He fired a bunch of people. People were like. I did see where they were like, I can't believe he fired us and this, that, and the other. It's like, that's what happens when the new person comes in and cleans house because he needs loyal followers.
Yeah, you should have known that.
Every business is like that. You go in and you're like, hey, you sit down and you have your first meeting and everybody sits down and you're like, okay, I own this motherfucker now. This is how we're going to do things. And then with the first 4 people that go, well, we did it like this, you're fired.
Get out.
Okay, so like the way that this happened, you're fired. It's just like everybody, you got to get rid of that, and you got to get your yes people underneath you, 100%. And people that know how to do things.
I find it funny that, like, I mean, look, the first 2 or 3 days, anything that happens, like, oh, he's really screwing up Twitter, and I'm like, guys. It's taking over a $40-something billion. If you took over a lemonade stand, it's going to take 90 days to get things in order the way you want them. Like, people just ready to crucify the guy over anything. I don't really understand.
It's because people
That's
don't.
Politics.
People don't understand how business works. And I'm not saying I do. I've been my own boss my entire life. I do understand how business works, but I don't want to be like people are like, that motherfucker don't know what business is. No, I've had my own businesses for years, successful businesses.
Yeah.
For years, 20 years. So like, when people say they're critical of like him coming in there, Twitter is a thing that has computers that basically runs itself.
Yeah.
You have people that have to deal with like other things. There's a computer that runs
issues.
everything. Yeah, HR issues,
in the
employee issues, your people suing you, like all of the
Payroll.
other things, payroll, things that have nothing to do with
Twitter. With
Twitter.
Yeah.
That Twitter is, I just fed my cat and he made a funny noise and I don't like Nazis. Boom, you hit the thing. You're right. That's Twitter. Everything else that goes along with it, I'm sure you could shave it down to like minimum
you could
people.
Get it super lean. They just had so much money, so they were just hiring a bunch of.
But also think of this: Elon probably has a team of people, like a team of law.
Oh,
he has a
sure
whole
he
team.
does.
So the Twitter law, the people that were doing that, they're out. He's got his own people. He's already got on retainer paying.
Of course.
And he's already got his own. He's already got his own payroll. I'm sure all of his companies are all on the same kind of payroll thing. And so like everybody at Twitter was like, "Well, we do it like this." And he's like, "Get out! I'm a billionaire. I have everything already set up, and we're doing it my way."
Well, yeah, but they think. I mean, everybody was like, I think the haters of Elon just wanted to be making mistakes. And I'm like, everything, it's going to be fine. Everything he does, it gets better.
What'd you say about haters earlier?
Yeah, haters. The more successful you are, the more haters you're going to have.
More haters you got. It's actually better to hear the haters.
Why is it hard for people to look at somebody like Elon? I'm not being a dick rider, but just to go, damn, that dude's really smart, and he does have some shit figured out. He may not know he doesn't know everything, but he's got a quest for knowledge, and he tries to make things better. He's super inquisitive. What does that have to do with politics? I don't even know what his politics are.
People are so confused too because he made cars that didn't use gasoline, so they were like, "Oh, this guy's a super liberal, left wing guy," but he's really not.
But now it's the left going. No, it's the
now
left
the
that
left's
hate him.
going
It's the
after
left
him.
that hate him.
But then they all bought cars from him, and now they hate
The
him.
right used to hate him because they thought he was a liberal nut because he's making electric cars.
Right.
Which, how stupid is that?
Well, they just try to put everybody in boxes.
Everybody in boxes, right? And then they find out that he might have some conservative ideals, so now the conservatives love him, and then the liberals are like, wait a minute, he has a few conservative principles. He's an idiot. He's a moron. He's like,
Yeah, he is.
Yeah,
you don't think
yeah.
a billionaire isn't a little bit conservative?
yeah,
You don't think?
yeah. You got. I mean, at least
Ridiculous.
It's like you,
It's like what Donald Trump said, and I was reminded of this off of. Did you watch Saturday Night Live? I don't watch Saturday Night Live anymore, but when I hear that somebody I like's on it.
I'll watch the clip.
Okay, so one of the last ones was Dave Chappelle was on there, and he did a
I
monologue,
watched that. It was-
and he said in his monologue he was like, Donald Trump just said the truth, and everybody was like, what the fuck? And he's like, everything we're doing in that house back there that you say we're doing it.
Yeah.
We're doing it. And then they go, well, you don't pay your taxes. He goes, well, I'm using the same tax laws that you're using, so I think I'm smart.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm using the same laws that you're using to not pay taxes, so change the laws. And that's hilarious because nobody ever heard anybody say that. And Dave Chappelle said that. He was like, nobody ever heard anyone say that. And they were like, and then he went back in the house.
Say the truth.
He
Like,
kept doing it. And it's like, yeah, everything we're doing in here, we're doing. You say we're doing it? Yeah, we're doing it.
See, that's exactly what's happening.
That's exactly what's
I've been
going
paying
on.
these people off for years. They all took. You took my money. You took.
Yeah, so, yeah, you got it. And guess what? It's legal.
Yeah. So make it illegal because it sucks.
So change it.
Which he's right on that.
He's right on that.
He's right on that deal.
But he says that's where he like hooked Middle America, was like, we knew it, and he said it, but then he didn't change it.
oh, he wasn't gonna change.
Why
it.
would he change it?
He's the worst of the swamp.
He's the
He's a
worst.
swamp creature. But he was forthright with that. Like, well, he was also like, well, I've been buying them all for years, but now I'm a changed man and I want to change everything. That was part of the grill.
Is he getting sentimental in his old age? His $8 billion. What has he got? $8 billion?
No,
For
it
$4
all
bill?
keeps being a lie, right?
Yeah, it's all a lie.
Well, they got his tax returns, right? You finally.
Yeah.
You saw they finally came out.
No, what were they?
It was like 500 million loss one year, 400 million loss, 300 million loss. Always huge losses.
Huge losses.
He was in the billions of losses.
Well, that's the thing. Like, what people don't understand is like, don't watch this IRS. You buy a bunch of things when you have businesses to depreciate losses, and then it looks so you don't have to pay taxes because you lost everything. But while you're sticking money, you're still living in a mansion.
The deal is his lie is an outrageous lie because he didn't lose 500 million. He's being sued by New York right now too, right? Because all these, so that's part of the tax return deal. all the property valuations he had, he would have them valued at. So this is what happened. This is the lawsuit that New York City's suing him for. So if he had a piece of property, let's say he had this iPhone, right? So I've got this iPhone, it's worth $1,000. But you're my bank, okay?
Okay.
And you're like, Ray, do you own anything substantial? I'm like, well, yes, I have an iPhone. And you're like, well, how much do you think it's worth? I'm like, I don't know, $7 million. And then I tell you, loan me $7 million against my iPhone.
Mm-hmm.
That's what Trump was doing.
Who was letting him do that?
The banks.
What bank?
Well,
shouldn't they get in trouble?
They should, but there's also onus for completely committing fraud, Mike.
But the
Mike,
bank is helping him commit fraud.
They're taking his appraisal. They were just taking his appraisal. So if he has a piece of property worth $50 million, right?
Yeah.
He's sending in an appraisal at $600 million, and then borrowing $600 million against a $50 million asset. They're going off his appraisal that he's given them.
So he's fraudulently giving them a bad appraisal.
On purpose, yeah, and not just, it wasn't like, and that's what I'm saying, it wasn't like my phone's worth $1,000 and you were going to loan me money, right?
Man, that's brilliant. Good job. No, I'm kidding.
It's worth $1,000.
Well, hey, man, you know how these people. Let's give a check on billionaires real quick. They're not the most. They're not the most.
Mike, this is the lie. I don't think you're grasping that. Like
I'm not.
The size of the lie.
I'm not saying that I agree with what he did. I'm just saying.
Of the fraud. You can't. It's one thing to say you had a $50 million property, you borrowed $58 million against it, and you had a friend do the appraisal.
Right.
It's like he's doing like 10x valuations.
Yeah.
They're,
like a bank would.
Yeah, this house is worth $200,000, and you go borrow $3 million, and you send in an appraisal saying this house is worth.
It's hard to say though, because every time when we do that, the bank sends their own appraiser. The bank always sends their own guy.
Yeah.
But they just took him at his word.
That's the other issue. But it's still gigantic fraud, right?
Yeah.
Wouldn't you say it's humongous fraud?
It's humongous fraud. He's not a bank. He can't do what a bank does. He can't loan out 10 times what a bank has. And
correct. So he defrauded about $3 or $4 billion, I think. I got to go look at the lawsuit.
Are you serious?
Oh yeah. And he would just he'd borrow this money that he can't pay back against property that's not worth even a fraction. So it's like I said, it's not like I said this is $1,000 iPhone and I said give me $1,200. And like, okay, we're like, oh,
yeah, $200 off.
Ray's a little bit of a bullshitter, right? Okay,
right.
It's me saying this is worth $100,000.
Ray's not a bullshitter, by the way. He's really not. He's a straight up guy.
I am a straight up guy, but that's
he's not gonna sell you his iPhone for $1,200 when it's worth $1,000. He's gonna probably give it to you at a loss. He's a really good dude.
So he's buying. So he's borrowed all this money and maybe some. I don't know if the banks are Russian or whatever. I don't want to speak on that. I'm sure that I can't wait for the Trumplicans to come after this if we put it on TikTok when I'm talking.
I don't give a shit anymore.
I don't either. I'm talking shit.
They don't know who I am. They don't know who I'm voting for.
And I don't give a shit if I'm talking shit about your Messiah. You need a new Messiah,
dude. All I'm saying is you do if he's meeting with Nazi, and if you're a Nazi and you're like, yeah, I like Trump, then I guess that's your guy.
So these are going to be the same people. It's the same people. They're going to.
God, are we gonna? Is it gonna be like this? Is it gonna be like Joe Biden runs again, and he's
Trump.
And Trump.
Just jump
and
off
then
a bridge.
Somebody please like run a toaster because I'll vote for the toaster.
Why can't it just be like, DeSantis
at least it made me
and
toast.
the governor of California, Newsom. DeSantis and Newsom, two guys in like their mid-40s that are well-spoken, different sides of the aisle, articulate, smart, bright, know how to get along with people. Like, come across presidential, would do great on the world stage. They have different policies, vastly different. But why can't it be people like that? Do we have to I can't do two more vegetables. I can't.
Why can't we get somebody a little younger in there?
Toaster, huh?
Why can't we get somebody a little younger in there? Where are the young people?
I'm saying not just
what is it? 35 years old.
35 years.
So why can't we just get somebody that has values that are younger? And when I say values, I don't mean. I'm not talking about old men values left and right. These dudes are old, man. These guys are so old and out of touch.
They're out of touch, bro. They're so
out of touch.
Detached, and the shit they say is detached, and they're detached, and they can't wipe their ass, man. And you can tell both of them are just imbeciles. They're both imbeciles, man.
Well, I'm sure at some point they were smart.
I get it,
but you
why
get
are
older.
We pretending on the left and right that these dudes are like either one of these guys are the answer to shit. Why the fuck are we doing that? What is wrong with us?
It's because being the president's a stupid job. It's a dumb job. It's a dumb job because you're in charge of what? What are you in charge of?
Why? But look, yeah, you're in charge of everything and people.
Public opinion.
Public opinion.
You're in charge of public opinion. And then it doesn't even matter who you are if you're president. Nobody's gonna like you. People didn't like JFK Jr. People didn't like JFK Jr.
I know.
And he was and like obviously I guess we've been like pushed to think that he's just awesome.
Well, he's not
But-
like the. I mean, he was. I mean, if you get down to it, JFK's like an adultering, drug taking, kind of arrogant dude. Like,
But
dude,
that's
like,
kind of cool. You know
I
what I
know.
mean? It's better than these fucks. It's
'cause
okay. The
what?
dude's
He was smart and articulate and well spoken and came across like presidential. Like,
Presidential.
You wanna follow that guy. I don't
okay. So like, do you want a
I
president
wanna follow Reagan.
that's
You
like
wanna
doing
follow,
drugs and banging Marilyn Monroe, or do you want the guy that's meeting with the Nazi party?
Look, I know that's what I'm saying. People, look, everybody's got skeletons. If you start breaking, if you go, there's no angels on earth. Like let's wake up. Let's be mature. Like there's no angels left on earth. Like everybody's got some, but you want somebody that can go out there and seem like a real human, not an NPC. You want somebody that can go out there
Good Lord.
and really articulate their views. And it's not, look, people disagree with Reagan, right? Lots of people disagree with Reagan, but he still had the support of like 64% of the country.
Yeah.
And the world stage, and he could break down complex issues and make them simple. Same thing with JFK. He could take the very complicated and he could bring it down to a place that people could understand. Talk right down to earth in a language people can clearly understand, right? And now, these last Maroons we've had, I guess they can speak simply, but my God.
The last president that we had that was great was Obama.
By
It was Obama.
far. He's the last, and when we say great, I'm going to say the last president we had.
I just say presidential.
That's my word.
He's like, okay, we're gonna do this, and we're gonna do this, and then we're gonna do this, and that's it. And if somebody was like, "You're a blah 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 blah," he was like, "All right, going home." And he didn't go. He didn't get on Twitter and attack a dude, and then like the rest of his family's like in trouble because people are like throwing death threats at him.
He could take it like a man.
Take it like a man.
He could take it like a man. Forgive me if you're not supposed to say that, but he could stand there. He could deliver his message.
Wait. Pause. I'm gonna pause this. You said take it like a man, and you said forgive me what?
If let's say that's wrong in 2022, like to say take it like a man.
You say take it like a man, like saying peanut gallery is bad.
Yeah, I don't know if you can. Say that. He might really.
You can't say take it like a man. You gotta say take it like a human
Yeah,
being.
take it like a they them. I guess.
Take it like a they them. Take it like a you me. Take it like the royal we. I'm gonna take it like the royal we.
I don't know. We're somewhere between old and young, so we like.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not trying to offend anybody. I think those things are funny, and I understand that there's value to like how you want to be addressed, but like, man, don't make me change up what I learned in high school 30 years ago.
I'll say anyway.
Anyway, I was just trying to say that you were apologizing because you said take it like a man. It's a thing we've been saying, a figure of speech we've been saying our whole lives. It doesn't mean that a man can take anything hard things. Obviously, women.
That's what she said.
I mean, women take hard things every day.
Yes, they're good at it too. So, but yeah, like this conversation, very presidential. Like
It's very presidential. I can be president. I'd be like, women take hard things.
Mike,
Listen, I want your vote because I know women can take hard things, and they take hard things every day. Sometimes they take hard things where men don't take hard things. But then I've got to also represent the gay community where men do take hard things, where women don't take hard things, where they do take hard things. Thank you.
Do you know how much more I would rather you be president than either of us?
Oh, God. Who would want that job?
There's no part.
If they busted in the door right now, I would tell them no.
Fuck off.
Fuck out of here.
Yeah.
It doesn't even make that much money. Please don't.
400K.
Yeah, I don't okay, I don't make $400K, but I'm not going to do that job for $400K.
$400,000.
I'll mow lawns. I'll start a lawn mowing company that makes makes a quarter of that and not be president.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, not be president. That's
Good
just not
Lord, that's stupid.
But we can. Okay, I know nobody wants the job, but we can do better than the last two. Could we all agree on that?
I think better than the last two. I don't even know anybody that would do better. Well, wait. Anybody could do better.
I don't know anybody could do worse.
I don't know if anybody could do worse.
It's impossible. How could you be a worse representation of the country than these two fucking clown shows?
You know, we have a problem though. Like with like I said, I don't like watching the news or any of that kind of stuff because I do think it's all fake. I do think everything that everything that they tell us is like a skewed. It's like
it's a skewed version of reality. I won't say it's all fake.
They don't. It's not fake, but they want you to believe a certain thing. They want you to become.
Well, mainstream media wants you to believe a certain thing, and Fox News wants you to believe a certain thing.
They want their reality to be your reality, and they want you to think like they want you to think like this is bad, Putin's bad, which I'm saying he probably is bad.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying like. They do that though. Like it's always like the Russians. Like in the '80s, we had, and then Hollywood gets involved, and they make movies like Red Dawn and like stuff like that about the Russians. It's like the whole
Rocky
thing.
IV.
You know, Rocky IV, Red Dawn. Like they were all fighting the red. Like fuck the Russians.
We were in the middle of the Cold War.
Yeah, we were in the middle of the Cold War. But like that's what I'm saying is like I don't like them telling me
like
through all that
is
stuff to what to think.
So the same.
I don't know anything about foreign policy, and I've never been anywhere. So I don't know. And the only thing I know is, okay, I've read like 3 books where these dudes like went from England all the way through like all the stands, the Kazakhstans. I don't even know what they're called.
Yeah.
All the stands. Then like through China and like dipped their bicycle in the water and then flew to California and then went from California to Florida on bikes. And they said that like the nicest people live in the countries that are vilified. And the people are nice, the governments are nasty.
Suck, yeah.
He said the people will invite you in, you sleep in a yurt. It's like got 15 people in it that they're all like their kids and everybody, uncles are all related. And they bring you in, they feed you and all. They got nothing.
Yeah.
And they're super polite to you.
Sure.
And their governments are terrible. And then he said also the other funny thing on the flip side of that is like, people that have money will tell you to fuck off and get off their property. You can't camp here.
Well,
and then like poor people are like, come into the house. You can sleep in this room right here and do this
of course,
and
who's
the
going to
other.
be more sympathetic to a human's plight, a rich person or a poor person? Like that,
I know
that shouldn't even be like.
Well, I know. Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Yeah, if
common sense.
If you're rich, you have a certain air of privilege about you that you just don't understand. That you become so detached even from common people, much less poor people, that you don't really understand anyone else's plight. That's why you see rich people so rigid in their thought patterns.
They're
They're so rigid.
The other thing is there's a whole I think it's called warmshower.com. It's
Warm
like
shower?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I might
everybody like some weird
porn thing.
Yeah.
No, but like it's cyclists like go on there when they're cycling across the country, and it's like other cyclists that'll let you like stay at your house and like take a shower and like whatever and then leave. And like the guy was like, I wish he got all the way he went through Texas. This is a really funny story. He went through Texas on his bike and he saw like he's from England.
Yeah.
So they don't have like these big trucks like, you know, like I have a 2500 Ram.
Yeah, everywhere.
Right?
Yeah,
and
everyone's got those here.
Everyone's got those. So like he sees one of those and he's like, I saw this ridiculously huge jacked up truck with big tires.
He's in Texas, right?
He's in Texas.
And he's from Europe.
And he's from Europe.
Yeah.
And he's like, I saw this. And he took pictures of it. And then when I got to the end of the book, it was like a Silverado 1500.
Yeah.
With no, it wasn't even jacked up.
Just a regular
like Silverado 1500 with tires, big tires on it. It was not jacked up or nothing. He thinks that's ridiculous. He should have drove through on I-20 in Russet and saw like these pavement princesses.
I guess it's just such a different cultural deal. Like,
well, all their cars are tiny over there. And
but I grew up in the South my whole life. I just see trucks. I don't even see them.
They're just huge. They're just
dualies,
big. He thought this regular Silverado 1500 was like a jacked up monstrosity. It was like, well, that's how it comes base.
Yeah,
it's like the base of it. You know, but it was
But
it's really interesting.
Texas would go in Europe and just marvel at the little cars.
Oh yeah, really? Look at the cutie car.
I doubt they'd say that.
No, I would. I'd be like, look at the little bitty car. So anyway, so like I've read all these books where these guys are on their bikes and they go like all over the world and they're like basically they're like wild camping and all that. Mm-hmm. And I was like, well, I'm gonna buy some panniers, which are
some panniers.
Panniers. That's what they call the bags that go on your bike to keep like your tent and stuff in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a fancy name.
Yeah,
it's like a fancy name.
It's very fancy.
You got like the frame and then you put your panniers on it.
Okay.
So like that's a fancy name for bags.
Yeah.
So like I'm gonna get all that and then I'm gonna like jump on my bike and I'm gonna ride like 60 miles a day and then like forage off the road into like the woods and camp and cook my meals. And then, like, I'm like, fuck that. That sounds awful.
Yeah.
That sounds like a nightmare.
The one hand, it sounds like it'd be really. I've thought about doing that. Just head out.
We should do it.
Like just walk.
Let's do it.
Just go.
Not walking. Let's take bikes.
And go where?
We just start on 167 and we just go north. And then we like start hitting side roads and we just like bike. And then when it gets to be nighttime,
just sleep.
We just sleep in tents. And then like
go,
we get up
go,
and we
gotta eat,
like we
eat.
got all this stuff we cook. We can cook on like these little stoves that you bring and cook like ramen noodles.
Oh yeah.
And like heat up water and eat ramen noodles every night and go. Does that sound terrible or does that sound like it'd be an enlightening thing?
That's what I'm saying. On the one hand, it sounds terrible because you take away all my conveniences and things I like, and you give me these
Creature
things
comforts.
that I don't really doesn't sound fun. On the other hand, you could probably really get in touch with like your soul and your spirit.
Because when you're
and
just
nature,
pedaling all day,
you just and your thoughts and like who are you and where are you and why are you,
and you see a lot of things slower on a bike than you do in a car.
and the world slows down. And I can tell you, as my 40s move towards my 50s, I more and more start having thoughts about like what's going on. Why did I do all this? Why did the whole thing happen? What's making this there's just a lot.
Are there other feelings that we need to feel before we die?
Yeah.
Do we need to slow down and smell the roses? Do we need to do we need to get away from like creature comforts where we have 500 shows to watch tonight and we're miserable and we don't like any of them? Or are we going to camp? Or are we going to camp and it's 34 degrees out and we're going to camp and have a fucking rough time?
Or why did we do the things that we do? Like why did we become enslaved to a society that we didn't even necessarily
Consumerism?
Yeah,
consumerism.
Like we don't even want most of the shit, right? Like who wants a fucking mortgage for 30 years? Like just
also, people buy things to show other people that they can buy things, and that's stupid too. That's dumb.
I know. So there's just so to go on those trips, you can just kind of if you can be out in nature and you could have those moments where you're just kind of hippie, but it's whatever. Like
it is kind of hippie,
but it's
hippy dippy.
I
find it more like
hippie as I get older. That's what I'm saying.
I feel like it more of a survivor thing. It's like could me and you get on a bike and for a couple days just go north on 167 into Arkansas and camp on the side, like find places to camp.
I think
eat,
for sure we could
and have a good time. I think it would be a fun time.
Oh yeah, it'd be fun as shit.
I wouldn't want to do it alone.
No, but then that might be cool too. Then we'd have to explain to everyone like, yes, me and Mike are taking a 5-day trip together. Yes, it's just the two of us on our bikes.
And we're going to be camping.
Yes, we're going to be camping.
In different...
No! We're not going to be... No!
It's not Brokeback Mountain.
Yeah, it's not, but it's really a spiritual thing.
It's a spiritual thing. We want to get in touch with like who we are. We're not really going to talk the whole time. I promise.
Maybe we go out to Dubach and take some DMT.
Yeah, we're going to take some DMT.
That's what's going to happen.
In the woods.
Yeah, but we're not, But people would be like... Then you'd be like... Did y'all hear about Ray and Mike's camping trip?
They went on bikes
and they were podcasting. Now they're lovers.
They went up to Arkansas and like camped in the woods and like got arrested because they were on somebody's property. And like, that's the other thing that he said. He's when he came here, it was like people are really uptight about their property that doesn't have anything on it. Like it's like you're camping here. And they didn't even have like a house or anything. And like he would stop in places and people would be like, this is my property. And they'd be like, well, can I just camp here tonight because I'm biking across America for this cause or whatever? And they were like, no, get the hell out of here. And he's like, okay. And they didn't have a house on the property or nothing. It's just woods.
Yeah, that's how people are about their property, though.
They're just
that's why there's
super,
no trust.
Like what's he gonna do? Ruin their property? Like he's gonna rent a backhoe the next day?
That's what people
and
think.
Ruin the property. He's gonna he's gonna knock down all the trees while he's camping that night.
People are just like always in fight mode. It's the other thing about the
everybody's
human
in fight mode.
That's the other thing about the human condition. Like, why is everybody?
Do you remember everybody being in fight mode in like 2005?
No, but I mean, in the 80s and 90s, people seemed like we were in fight
Were they
mode.
in fight mode? I thought they were in fuck mode.
Seemed like no, everybody like it seemed like everybody like the youth was we were really aggressive youth. It seemed like
were we? But not really. I think our music was aggressive.
No, I think we were aggressive.
Were we?
Yeah.
Were you aggressive?
Oh yeah. Was
I aggressive?
My personality is aggressive, abrasive, like fun, but yeah, everybody was aggressive. Just like it was just more like kids would fight all the time in like elementary. Did y'all not have that in Virginia?
No.
Well,
No, we didn't.
in the South, you had that. Like people would fight all the time, and like every day in elementary school, you'd fight. Like
No, everybody that fought,
in the
we
80s.
thought were tools.
yeah, no, this is
Like I was like everybody that fought was kind of like the nasty kids.
Well, yeah, that's probably right. That's probably right. But I'm saying in the South, here in Louisiana, like that's like every day. That's all we did.
I will tell you this: in Virginia, like where I lived outside of DC, it was so far outside of DC. Well, it wasn't that far.
Like third grade.
It wasn't that far, but there was like farmland, and like we had like farm boys.
Yeah.
And like the funny thing about that time period in like 89, 90, 91, before I moved here in 92 to Louisiana, or 93 whenever I moved here, like we were all listening to like R&B music, these white kids.
Yeah, you told me.
Yeah, and then like everybody that was like on a farm that like
metal?
they listened to metal. And then like when I wanted to listen to metal, everybody turned on me.
Because the people on the farms were smarter than y'all,
Right.
more enlightened.
Well,
than
they're
y'all.
more enlightened on a
Yeah.
farm. They're on a farm, and we used to think that like the farm people were idiots. And now I'm like, and that was me being a kid. I don't
Yeah.
think that now, obviously, right? So like the farm kid would get on the bus, and this dude's like jacked up from doing farm work.
Yeah.
And he's got an AC/DC shirt on and a Metallica shirt on, and be like, "Fucking loser." And this dude is like awesome.
Yeah,
He was like an
of course he's
awesome dude.
I was that guy with the AC/DC Metallica shirt. I would have loved to have been in
Dude,
Virginia.
I think back
I'd love to
on-
have been on y'all's bus.
Well,
I'd
this
jumped
is
on y'all like spider monkeys on those R&B ass.
yeah, we were like listening to like all that like Shabba ranks,
Yeah.
and like a Shabba and all that stuff. But then like I changed, and like I remember I said this before, but nobody's ever watched it, so I said it before, but I changed and started listening to like Megadeth and Nirvana was coming out.
So you just
and-
found it? Somebody you
and
were
I
hanging out with a
just
farm
somehow
kid, or what?
found
You
it.
just
No,
found,
like,
you
like
stumbled on it.
I stumbled on it somehow,
'Cause
and like
great-
Red Hot Chili Peppers, and then I've told that
favorite.
story about my mom taking the Red Hot Chili Peppers CD
Blood
back.
Sugar Sex Magic.
Blood
Is
Sugar Sex Magic.
this appropriate?
It's not
No, that's the
appropriate
point.
for a
That's the whole
12-year-old.
point.
It's the whole point.
Yeah, it's the
So like I found that, and I remember having a friend that just wanted to punch me in the face for listening to that kind of music. It was crazy. And when I think back on it, he was like, "You're lucky that our moms are best friends, or I'd beat the shit out of you right now." And I was like, "For listening to Red Hot Chili Peppers? Okay."
Yeah. I ain't gonna let that shit slide. I'm not gonna let that.
Well, he was older.
Oh, older. Yeah, you gotta let. You might.
He was older. He was older. He
Oh,
was
like-
in high school. He was like 11th
Oh
grade.
yeah. You gotta let it slide.
I'm
y'all-
7th grade.
Oh yeah, you were scared.
Sixth,
You were
seventh. I was
scared
scared
shitless then.
Dude, 10th grader being a 7th grader, that dude's
That's-
a man.
That dude's a pussy. But
He's a man, but he's a
Well, he's a
pussy.
pussy fucking
They
with
are,
seven-
and those guys are all pussies. If y'all ever see any of this, you boys that we used to hang out, y'all were fucking pussies.
I was
Fuck you.
gonna. I was gonna say, you give me 10 metalheads from the South and go get the R&B crew, and we'll meet somewhere. We'll meet somewhere in Oklahoma. We'll tie this shit up, and we'll see what's what. That's what I was.
Well, I'm
thinking.
full metal now.
And I'm not talking about 2022 us. I'm talking about I want 1992
What-
me and my metalhead friends.
Let me ask you this: what did you what did you listen today? What music did you listen to today?
Today
Yeah.
I listened to Fats Domino.
All right.
Listen-
Why?
Because once or twice a year, I go on a Fats Domino kick for at least a week. Once or twice a year, I go on a UFO kick for at least a week. Once or twice a year, I'll go on a Jerry Lee Lewis and Buddy Holly kick for at least a week. That's every year. That's been for the past 2 decades. Those 3 bands I have to go revisit. I have to go revisit to remind myself how
Music is?
how unbelievably amazing and ahead of its time it was. Like Buddy Holly in 1957 and Fats Domino. Like there's no possible way to listen to a Fats Domino song and not smile. And like UFO, like nobody even knows who UFO is, and like Strangers in the Night is like the greatest live album that's ever been made. Like it's hard to believe that people could play music that fucking good. and you just have to be reminded of that. And so Fats Domino was on the just made it to the shuffle today.
I listened to Megadeth today.
I listened
all day.
It's one of my favorite bands.
It was awesome.
Megadeth is more of a 5 or 6 weeks out of the year. Megadeth just stays in the rotation because it's part of my life, like Sabbath, like Ozzy, like Tool, Megadeth, Pantera, Slayer, Testament. There's these 10 or 12 bands that like never leave really the rotation. Megadeth.
I listen to a lot of Bush. I'm just a Bush fan. I love Gavin Rossdale, and the last 2 albums have been incredible with the guitarist from Helmet.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
I like Bush. I like Bush a lot. They're good. They're really good.
I'm not putting them in the category of Megadeth, obviously.
Not even in the same planet.
But just like the songwriting and like how he writes songs and what he says, it may be
the way he says it.
It may be the English accent that makes everything sound cool.
Machines.
More than machines.
Yes,
We are more than you feel. And it's just like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna rip that off.
But Megadeth falls into that camp I'm talking about. With
He
UFO,
also
and of course Megadeth's influenced by UFO, obviously, but it falls in that same category where you go, how can somebody be this good? This is ridiculously like.
Okay, I'm gonna have to listen to UFO.
Oh my god, yeah.
Okay, I'll listen to some of that. Let me get back to Megadeth real quick. Also, though, Dave Mustaine, his voice isn't. You hear Dave Mustaine's voice, and he's like a caricature of a voice because he's like, if my heart was still alive, I know it would surely break. You know, he's just like
no one can sound like Dave.
No, he's like, and my memories left of you. You know, he's got these really weird.
It's like it's a caricature.
It's a caricature of somebody's voice.
If you're doing a Spinal Tap cartoon, but you wanted like an over the top thrash metal.
Hello, me, meet the real me in my misfits way of life. A dark black past is mine.
but he's the no one else can make that work. Nobody.
Should I do it? Should I just do it?
Yeah.
Should I just? No, I can't copy off of him. There's no way I could like make something up like that.
You couldn't. It would. But that's
everybody's just like, oh, dude, you're just doing like a Dave Mustaine character. Right? You'd be like, hello, everyone. I'm writing a song right now. Yeah.
But when he does it, oh my god! But
no, it's great. It's what makes him so cool. I fucking love him, man. I love Megadeth.
Megadeth lyrics are otherworldly.
The guitar playing's otherworldly.
The
there's parts on it where they're like picking it. He's like palm muting these parts that are heavy, and it's just like these really high like palm muting parts, and I'm just like, oh man, that sounds so amazing. It sounds so smooth and good. And nobody does it. Nobody does that.
Watch Dave. I watched a whole Megadeth show one time because I was 3 feet away. I've been to see him a bunch, but one time I was like right this close, and I just stared at Dave like a fanboy for an hour and 15 minutes. I never looked anywhere else on the stage. I just stared at his crotch area at his guitar.
His crotch area?
Well, because you know his guitar is
right there. Right there.
So I'm not looking at his face or like looking around. I'm just like watching him play the guitar, and it's the most one of him and Iommi. But it's just crazy. Like that's
he's incredible. That dude on guitar is incredible. Yeah. I gave my buddy back his Black Beauty 1974 Les Paul Custom 20th anniversary 1974 Les Paul Custom because I had it here and I was recording some songs with it, and then I was like, I got to give this back to him because this is ridiculous. I'll never own a guitar like this.
Yeah.
It plays amazing, and it's just going to make me depressed. I got to get rid of it.
How did you get that from him?
Well, okay. So, like, my buddy Joe, hey, Joe, he listens. He's the one out of the 4. That
Thanks, Joe.
He's on the road a lot, so he listens. His dad bought this guitar, I guess, back in 1974.
So for like $400 or whatever.
Or whatever, a Gibson Les Paul 20th anniversary. It couldn't have been $400. It had to be. It was a 1974.
$400 would be about $4,000 in days. It's probably
would it really?
Yeah, probably $300 or $400 back then.
Damn. Hey, Dad, thanks for buying me one. Anyway, just kidding. He's the other one of the 4. So like his dad gave him this guitar.
It's a 1974 Les Paul, right?
1974 Les Paul Custom.
Uh-huh.
All gold Black Beauty. It's the black.
Oh, the Black Beauty. Yeah, I know exactly.
Black Beauty. Everybody plays them. Everybody plays them. Okay.
I'm looking up the original. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. I'm looking
Okay,
up
so the
original
guitar busted up is worth $10,000.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Brand new, like if you bought one in 1974 and you never played it and you stuck it somewhere in the attic and then you pulled it and you're like, holy shit, here's a guitar, it'd be $20,000.
Yeah.
So this guitar was worth between 10 and 20, I'm gonna say.
And it played fantastic.
It was amazing. I was learning like Slash stuff. I was like playing like the solos from like November Rain on it.
19,000, 23,000, 17,000.
23,000. Let me see the 23,000 one. So anyway, he brought it over to my buddy Joe's house in Georgia, and John's house. Joe brought it to John's house. You know, all these J guys.
It's the Jimmy Page one. That's why it's 23,000.
Oh yeah, it's got the Bigsby. That's got the Bigsby on the end. But no, there's it was a 1974 20th anniversary Les Paul custom Black Beauty. And it was brilliant. It like not been played a lot. Had some back belt buckle scratch on the back, like every one of them does, but not bad.
Yep.
Not like breaking the paint. And the oxidation of like all the glue or whatever on the thing, that none of that, it was all perfect. And it was like the perfect yellow. Like it was like oxidized yellow, perfect around the whole thing. No buzzing. It played amazing. I'm like,
never a buzz or a pop or just clean.
You know, like I'm just like playing Slash all day long with it.
Oh yeah.
So like, but by the way, Slash, incredible. Like I started learning some of that stuff, and I was just like, holy shit.
Yes.
Anyway, so
you're learning a lot about. I'm glad you're like discovering some some music, because you've always been so into music. But I think there was a lot of like just incredible music that you didn't really know about.
Right, there was a huge music fan over here, big, and it moved my soul. But like, for some reason, certain parts of music, I was like.
But I think you skipped like a 10 or 12 year window when like some of the best shit was happening.
I did.
When UFO and Guns N' Roses and like Sabbath and
No, I'm totally down with Guns N' Roses. Yeah. I get it. Slash, but the thing is though, I've never been like a big lead guitarist. I've always just been like a songwriter.
Right.
And I was always like, hey, lead guitarist guy, do it.
Yeah.
You know, go.
Yeah.
You know? So, like, now I've been, like, getting into that, and I'm just like, man, there's a lot in that I didn't realize. And so, like, when you're playing, like, a November Rain solo, you're like, holy shit. When you bend things up like this, you've got to get it perfect, or it sounds like a cat's getting killed in the next room. You know what I mean? Like you've got to bend that shit to the perfect spot on the fretboard,
right?
Or it sounds like asshole. So now, whenever I hear anybody playing things like that, I'm just like, wow, that's great. That guy's got a real mastery on like how he's doing those things. You know what I mean? I always knew that. And I knew it sounded good, and I knew it didn't, but I didn't know, like,
because it wasn't really your forte.
Wasn't my forte.
Yeah.
My forte was, oh, you wrote this song. Oh, you did the chorus and the verse and the blah blah blah. Now it's doing this. Oh, and you changed that. That's pretty cool. And then when the solo comes on, I like go blank, because like I was like, I'm not into that.
Yeah.
But now I'm into it.
That's been my things since I found music. That's
what
like, got me into music.
My part of the music is the creative genius of the songwriting, not who can show their cock on the solo.
Oh no, but that's.
But now I'm there. I'm there now.
But it's a misinterpretation. When a solo can tell a story without words, that's not showing how big your cock is. That's just artistry at the highest level.
Well, look. I always had a friend, John. You know him, Jonathan Brazel.
Yeah,
Jonathan Brazel. When we first started playing, when we were 15 in bands playing all over the place. His solos were so amazing. Like they weren't fast and they weren't like, but like
that's when it gets stupid. When it's just showing off, that's when it gets stupid. But
Jonathan could write like these leads and these solos that just kind of hit you right in the heart. Like there was like a sound. Yes. He bent the notes right. He played the right notes, and those solos were just like, or like the lead was you would just be like, oh man, I love being in this band with this guy because he does that.
Yeah,
That's
'cause
awesome.
It's awesome. That's why I'm such a Naomi guy. You know, he's like, if people like, you know, he's not Yngwie because he's not trying to be Yngwie, but the way he can. Same with Slash. The way they can deliver that solo and make you just go, holy shit! And they tell a whole story. It's almost got its own lyrics that you want to hear.
Yes.
You want to hear it.
Slash can take 4 notes and bend them, and tell a whole story with 4 notes and bending them.
And that's
what I've learned.
And I think that's what got missed from like the 90s crowd who came along and just thought that anything with solos over 10 seconds was a dick measuring contest.
Was a dick measuring
with
contest.
2 people in spandex trying to see who's faster. And they really just missed the mark on it. It was just a miss. It was just an L.
Well, I hate that that's what I fell into. I hate that you're exactly what you just said is exactly what I fell into in the 90s when I was learning guitar.
Yeah.
Was, oh, now we're just going to measure our dicks on how fast we can like play these notes.
Right.
And it sucks because I should have fucking could you imagine how awesome I would be now if I would have got into it then?
Yeah.
And I'm just like, damn.
Because that's the part, if you think about the solo of the guitar, that's the shit that's going to always be around. And even when they tried to, they were like, oh, we're getting away from solos. We just want to, you know, as grunge being punk, it didn't work. They were like, fuck it, we want a solo.
You need a good solo.
You need that solo.
Even if you need something that throws some soul.
Buddy
like
Holly
at
needed
you.
it. Johnny Cash needed it.
By the way, I know. No, wait, hold on one second. Before we get into that, back to the Black Beauty. So I had it here, and I was writing some songs with it, and then I had to go back to George, and I was like, I'm taking this guitar back to Joe because it's ruining me.
Yeah.
This guitar is ruining me. I'm worried when I leave the house that I have something that's worth. It's like having a Ferrari at your house.
Yeah, somebody's gonna rob
and
you.
you're worried about somebody stealing it.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I can't have this thing at my house, and if it gets stolen, it's irreplaceable. First of all, because his dad gave it to him.
Yeah.
Number one, it could have been any piece of shit that his dad gave to him.
But
and
it happened to be a 74 Les Paul.
But it happened to be a
Beauty.
74 Les Paul custom Black Beauty.
Yeah.
That was in perfect mint condition. I changed the strings on it. I played it. And then I was like, I gotta get it back to him. I can't deal with the pressure of having that here. I just couldn't. I couldn't do it. It's such a nice guitar. So like you can buy those now that are made now. They're $7,000. They're $6,000, $7,000 new. It's not and it's all the same specs, and it's $7,000. But like I want one, but I don't. Like I don't want to spend that kind of money on a guitar. Like, I don't know. I'm not like playing professionally anymore to where I need a $6,000 guitar.
Yeah, but that may be the catalyst that gets you just standing up there, just fucking being a guitar hero.
Maybe
the antagonist grunge kid becomes the guitar hero at 50.
At 50. Well, I'm not 50. I'm 43.
Well, I know, but it would be.
It would take me 8 years.
It
would take me 8 years to be a genius.
I was building the career.
Thanks for building the career.
Yeah, I was building the whole career.
Probably at 50, that's where I would be. Is where it would just be like, my God, this guy makes me cry.
Yeah, you'd be like.
So you're saying I need to buy I got to get the $6,000 guitar.
Yeah, you could be like Steve Vai, Joe Satriani, those guys that just go and people just 1,000 people a night just come in the theater. All they do is just play guitar for 2 hours, no singing, no nothing, just watch.
No, I want singing. I basically want to be in Bush. I want to be in the band Bush. I love this.
You mean to call Gavin?
Call him up. Call Gavin. Tell him I'll be the guy that's like off stage. I saw this too. You see this a lot. Who was I? Oh, I said that I saw. Who was it? The hey, come out and play. Those guys. Offspring. So like Offspring. I was cruising through YouTube and I saw Offspring. 2022 Hellfest, right? Awesome. They're jamming. They've got one guy off to the back that's like playing guitar that's not in the band. Like he's not an original member.
Right.
And he's got like a keyboard, guitar, synthesizer, all this stuff around him. And he's like doing all like that work.
Right.
Right? That guy's dangerous. That guy's the guy. That's a musician.
That's the dude, yeah.
That guy's a musician. It's like, also when I saw Better Than Ezra back in 1999 in Shreveport,
In the 1900s.
Back in the 1900s.
The late 1900s.
When I saw Better Than Ezra. Hey.
Where at?
Where?
Did they sing good?
They had a guy that was off to the side of the stage.
I think we can
He was doing the same thing.
do a whole show in old man voices.
Hey, Better Than Ezra from West Monroe.
They were from New Orleans, right?
New Orleans. Yeah.
Baton
No,
Rouge.
one of them was from up here.
Yeah, I saw them around here. They played Sundown.
Did they really? That's kind of
Yeah,
cool.
they say they played. I saw them at Sundown.
Oh, really?
94 maybe 94, 95.
94?
Yeah, somewhere in that.
Yeah.
You know who else I saw? And then in a bar in Baton Rouge, I saw Pat Benatar. You know at that time, now who's like a Hall of Famer, but you know that weird time from like 1991 to 2001, and it was like all these 80s, like people like Pat Benatar were playing bar. Like she's played a bar in Baton Rouge. It was just a regular bar with like 42 people in it. It was a Pat, and now Pat, and Pat Benatar, the 80s would have been like playing arenas. Now would play arenas. She's like in the Hall of Fame, and there was like this 10-year window where you could go and you would see any of those before the nostalgia came around for the 80s. Like in the in the 2000s, like the nostalgia came around for the 80s bands. So they got to play again. But that time in the 90s,
Well, they're still playing now.
That time in the 90s, you go see like Poison and like.
There's no money to be made unless you're touring.
Unless you're touring, that's the only way to make money.
It's the only way to make money.
And merch. Well, it's still a lot of and merch.
But it's touring.
Yeah.
With merch.
We got to get those Mike. We got to get those Mike Guitar Hero merch.
I gotta get you one of these. I gotta get you one of these. I don't like the way that mic sounds.
Huh.
I just don't like the way that mic sounds. I gotta get you one of these.
Well, we'll look at it for.
I
next
could
time.
use one though. I could use one to record Morning Moon.
Yeah.
These are like if you had a studio and I wanted to like record everything, I would use all of these.
Are y'all gonna record in here?
Yeah.
Same studio?
Yeah.
Good.
I'm gonna record everything here.
They probably knocked that song out quick.
Well, if we can get it where we do the drums, then just overlay everything else. Well, then like when we recording live is like a thing where you've got to be really on edge about everything going on at the moment, and you got to have everything
You're not gonna record it live though, right?
No. We're gonna do it track to track.
Right, yeah.
We're gonna do drums and bass. Then or drums and guitar, scratch guitar, possibly. If we're using electronic drums, straight up, we could scratch everything because there's no noise.
Yeah.
So it might end up being the best sounding thing they ever did, doing it like that. Now I do like recording bands live in a room because, like Rick Rubin does with metal bands, because of the vibe.
Yeah.
If you want it to be
And they just
on point
they just come in a room and
perfectly.
they just play like they're playing a show. That's
Yeah,
how
yeah.
That's how Sabbath did the first 2 albums. Almost.
That's a great way to do it if you want that vibe. The other way to do it is track to track, instrument to instrument, and
I
it
like
gets
that way better.
and
I think.
and it sounds tighter.
I think it sounds tighter.
It sounds tighter unless you're a fucking tight ass band.
Yeah.
Unless you're tight, like System of a Down, they're so tight. That's how they did it with Rick Rubin. Was all live in a band. They all played in a room with boxed off sections. You know,
I
you
could
see
see
those.
that.
You see those.
I mean, that could work. I mean, I could see it being cool, but
It works, but here's the thing: like if you're in a studio that has like a studio that has rooms that are soundproof rooms, that's not how Rick Rubin did it with them.
Yeah.
It wasn't a room. It was like at Jeffrey's, like how we did it with open and everything, but he also had like barriers between them, so a little bleed through came through. But
it'll sound different in the small space too, right? Versus the big space.
It's gonna be super tight.
Yeah,
I'm gonna make it sound so. Doing it like this, you're gonna be like, "Whoa, this sounds great."
Yeah,
they're gonna be surprised at how better it sounds doing it like this, because they never did it like this. Because we just recorded the other ones in a live version of it. So it's gonna sound really great, and I'm gonna make them like overdub their guitars like 4 times.
That's Randy Rhoads did it. It's good enough for Randy Rhoads.
It's gonna be like 4 times overdubs on guitars and all that kind of stuff. It's gonna sound great.
Can't wait.
So let's give him a shout out here. Hit the Morning Moon on Spotify. Do it.
Go Morning Moon on Spotify. Mike's produces them, and they've got a new song coming out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Monday, you're gonna record.
We're gonna start recording Monday.
That means it'll probably be out in 2 months.
Nah, a month. I'm gonna get right on it. No, it may be out in a
It takes
week.
a while though to get it distributed.
It may be out in a week. They put it on Spotify in a week.
You
can?
You can't do it that fast.
Oh, how fast does it take to put it on Spotify?
3 or 4 weeks.
Okay, so I'm off
Probably
all
a
week.
month,
I'm
actually,
off
a month.
all week this week, and I'm gonna take this week and tweak it up, and I'm gonna mix and master it all this week.
They haven't even hit a note yet, have they?
Not
but they
a
have,
note
but
yet.
they have the song ready to go, so it's just coming.
Yeah, we're
to
good.
It. Yep, cool. Well, maybe we'll hear it later.
Yeah. All right.
All right, we'll talk
Hey,
to you later. Bye.
that's the one right there. Peace out.
What one?
We'll see you next time.
Oh, see ya.
Bye.